Nowadays, technology is developing more and more. Almost everything in our life is already automated. Mopping floors, buying food, working at a factory, and the like. But there is something in our life that will never be possible to automate. It's sex. We can only improve the process. Therefore, scientists are already working on robots for fun. These works have everything for pleasure. But unfortunately, so far most of these robots are female. And you would like to have such a robot? Write the answer in the comments. In the meantime, listen to the most interesting robot with big breasts. The sex industry, which has an annual turnover of $30 billion in the United States alone, will soon present the loudest novelty. A companion robot that can keep up a conversation, learn and never say no. Such a car costs about $15,000. At Abyss Creations, a company that manufactures them in San Marcos, California, a life-size android is attached by hinges to a stand, like a doll in a store. Her name is Harmony. She is wearing a white leotard, her breasts are sharply protruding forward, and thin fingers with a French manicure lightly touch her slender hips. Harmony is a cyber version of a hyper-realistic silicone sex toy, which the company will soon release for wide sale. The room in which Harmony was assembled is laid with lacquered pine boards and covered with numerous wires and circuit boards. In the corner there is a 3D printer that buzzes, spitting out small intricate details that will be embedded in the skull of a sex robot with a permanent virtual circuit. Harmony is the culmination of the production of sex dolls, which began 20 years ago, and 5 years of research in the field of robotics. McMullen's customers wanted something as human-like as possible, and he created his own unique product. At first, his team made silicone dolls that looked as much like real women as possible. Then they decided that this was not enough and gave them a personality, and in fact, breathed life. The company plans to release 1,000 copies to meet the demand of the most demanding customers. Harmony has implemented a voice and face recognition system, a motion sensor and animation engineering. All this was done so that the hyper-realistic doll could greet its owner with a smile when he comes home, entertain him with lively conversations and never refuse sex. This sex machine has something that no robot has. Harmony is able to learn the desires of the client. These robots can occupy an empty niche in the sex entertainment industry. With such abilities, Harmony looks more like an imitation of a partner than an ordinary sex toy. This doll is a combination of all the classic male ideas about the ideal woman, extremely obedient, pleasing and with the body of a porn star. The only thing she can't do is move around on her own. But at this stage, according to its creator, this function is not worth the money invested. I have a very simple goal, to make people happy. There are a lot of people among us who are unable to establish traditional relationships with real people, and my creation gives them the opportunity to feel not alone. When computer engineers manage to create artificial intelligence so complex as to make the relationship between a human and a robot a reality, first of all they thought that their development would serve for the benefit of humanity. In 2007, the book Love and Sex with Robots was published, the author of which was a British AI engineer David Levy. It was he who predicted that sex robots, in addition to their basic functions, will have a therapeutic effect for humans. Those who for some reason have become outcasts in society will be able to take advantage of the advantages that robots provide, he wrote. Harmony creator Matt McMullen is not the only one who tried to create the world's first sex android. When a computer engineer named Douglas Hintz lost a close friend in the September 11 terrorist attack, he hardly got used to the idea that he was no more. Then he decided to model his friend's personality so that the program could communicate with anyone. A few years later, the inventor's father suffered a stroke and became unable to speak and move normally. Hintz then reprogrammed the AI to make a companion robot for his father, who could look after him while he was at work. Confident that the market for such companion robots has a future, Hintz decided to found a company to launch robots into production. His first project was a sex android, which he called Roxy, and created specifically for single men who for some reason cannot interact normally with women in real life. The most difficult thing in designing sex robots is creating a personality. It is necessary for some kind of connection and contact to arise. The goal of our company is to provide the client with unconditional love and support. Is there anything wrong with that? What could be the disadvantages of a robot holding your hand and looking into your eyes? Says the inventor. In 1994, when Matt McMullen was 24 years old, he began designing women's silicone molds in his garage. Initially, he made small figures, which he showed at a local comic convention. Later, the engineer was already fully engaged in the idea of creating a life-size human surrogate. McMullen took some photos of his dolls and posted them on the website in '96, hoping that some of his friends or artists would support his endeavors. In general, this happened when everyone just started using the internet everywhere, and certain fetishist societies formed their own forums and online communities. As soon as Matt posted photos of his first sex doll, he was showered with a stream of rather strange messages. For example, how much do they look like women from an anatomical point of view? Are they for sale? Is it possible to have sex with him? Etc. After that, the engineer decided to replace latex with silicone, so his dolls became more real to the touch and the silicone skin felt almost like real when rubbed. Initially, he asked for a price of $3,500 for each robot, counting all the costs and time for production. But when he realized how great the demand was, he began to gradually increase the cost of his products. 20 years later, he officially launched Real Dolls. Now they ship 600 dolls a year all over the world, the price of which starts from $4,400, basic version, and goes up to $50,000 and even more if the buyer has any special wishes. The company makes dolls with real red flesh, with devil horns and vampire fangs, and even completely covered with stiff bristles, from neck to ankle. Sex robots even managed to visit the filming of the TV drama Lars and the Real Girl with Ryan Gosling. The client can assemble the doll to suit his needs. There are 14 options for the design of the labia, and 42 options for the type of nipples. Moreover, it is possible to add detail, for example, a certain color of nail polish, or, say, bright red capillaries in the eyeball. The company's makeup artist will create any makeup of eyebrows, cheeks and lips, or even make an exact copy of a celebrity. Usually, clients send photos that the company focuses on when creating a robot. If this is a real person, then engineers need his written permission. We even had clients who asked to make an exact copy of themselves, adds McMullen. The company's statistics show that men make up 95% of customers, and women, respectively, account for only 5%. The company makes male dolls for them, but not with such customization capabilities. This business was originally tailored to men and their whims. The most important thing that distinguishes robots like Harmony is the built-in eye, which learns through interaction with a person and is able to study not only the client, but also the world in general. You can explain some things to her, she will remember them and they will become part of her basic knowledge. Harmony's host will be the sculptor who will shape her personality depending on what he says to her. And she, in turn, will try to learn as much as possible about her owner, so that later she can use this knowledge in a conversation with him. So it's a little scary, McMullen says. Her memory and the way she learns is exactly what will make the client believe in the reality of this relationship. Matt McMullen says that the only purpose of his brainchild is to satisfy the desires of the client without any hindrances that a real woman has. For example, one's own ambitions and needs, menstrual cycles, or habits, and at the same time, this interaction with a robot can turn from simple sex into a relationship. Thanks for watching. Put likes and subscribe to the channel.